Well, hello, my people. STEM to Roots. This is Mike Demba, your host. When we started STEM to Roots, we actually did think, actually, our slogan is we want to talk our way into a plan. So we thought for the most part it will be about talking, like my mother will say, Michael, talk, 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 talk. We thought we will talk our way into a plan, but I didn't know we'll start talking about solutions or this plan this soon. All right. So the way I'm thinking about this is, all right, walk with me here. As we see solutions, we should bring them up as we go. All right. We don't have to wait because our continent, where we come from, this place that we love, our root, this is a place where, there's no time to waste anymore. Right. That's why a few days ago, I was on the internet and I was on YouTube and I stumbled on this video where I heard Jack Ma talk about something that I didn't see that way. And if you don't know who Jack Ma is, well, let me put it this way. I'm going to say it nicely. If you don't know who Jack Ma is, whichever rock you're living under, you can just go back there. Maybe it's just better for you. All right. So Jack Ma, all right, the owner, the founder of Alibaba, of late, he's been going to Africa a lot, right? And so I stumbled on a video where Jack Ma was talking about Africa's problems, right? In talking about Africa's problem, Jack Ma actually said, right, Africa's problems are actually the opportunity. He's a businessman, right? So he's talking to us, telling us that Africa being where it is right now, Africa's position, where all these things that Africa lacks, right? And here at STEM to Roots, we've pointed out a lot of these issues already. That level of infrastructure that helps the people out, whether it's electricity, whether it's the internet accessibility, whether it's the road network, that logistics, whether it's, healthcare, you name it, every issue that we have named, as a business person, he is looking at it like, guys, you're talking about these problems, right? As business people, that is actually what you want. You want to be in a place where there are problems that you solve. All right. There are questions that are unanswered. Right. That's where the opportunity lies. Okay. As us Africans in the diaspora going through these things where, we're from there, our people are there right now. We visit every now and then, some even more often, right? We go home and we see all these issues. And for the most part, what do? We see these problems, we turn around and run away to where these problems don't, quote unquote, exist, right? Here is Jack Ma talking about how that's where actually the opportunity lies, right? Where we're not even talking about aid. Aid is not what he's talking about here. He's talking about that benefit, right? That win-win where you make something happen, charge for it, fill your pockets, and actually, be rich, basically. So I thought that was interesting when I stumbled on that video. Sorry, I can't share it because it's a copyrighted video. But he talks about this this Africa being, poor, Africa being labeled, this place full of issues, as actually the gold mine itself, right? And so a couple of days later, today, I actually stumbled on a video that I am able to share, and I can't wait to share this video. I'm gonna let it run for a whole 10 minutes straight, where we will see Alibaba's solution to some of these issues. And I can't wait for you guys to hear about this or see this if you've not seen it before, and we'll discuss right after. All right, fair? All right, let's do.
But we believe in globalization. Globalization actually in the past 30, 40 years helped a lot of countries to grow, especially countries like China. But people don't like it because it's not inclusive. So globalization itself is good. but how we can improve it, how we can make more developing countries get involved, how we can help a small business get involved, young people get involved. In the past 20 years, the globalization was controlled by 60,000 big companies. So what if we can help 60 million or 60 million small business, any young people that can global buy, global sell? That's something that I think the world trade should be looking like. So I think today, because of the technology we have, because of the internet, because of the mobile phones, because of the new infrastructure that we are building up, we think we can help all the small business, young people. If they have a phone, they can global buy, global sell, global deliver, global pay, and global travel, having fun. That's the whole vision for wTP. And I think this is what I talked to WTO.
EWTP, all right? EWTP is actually that Alibaba company that I'm talking about, and this is EWTP, and I would want you to do your own research. What they're doing is the electronic world trade platform. That's what it is. World trade platform is what they're calling it. It's a private sector-led multi-stakeholder initiative to promote this public-private collaboration and dialogue in the support of inclusive global trade. That's what the initiative is. And when I heard about that, I thought that was interesting. So I looked a little into it, to figure out how that's going to help Africa, just like he just mentioned, where with a mobile phone, where we know everybody is, almost everybody or most people are now connected, right? So with a mobile phone, whatever it is that you're selling, if it's a good that you have a consumer for, if it's a product that you have somebody that is willing to pay for it, you can actually sell using your mobile phone, or you can buy using your mobile phone. So that level of collaboration where there's a connection between the customer and the seller, that right there is actually where the sweet spot is. But let's listen. Let's hear more about what EWTP is. Okay.
WTO needs to be upgraded to the second version, focusing on developing countries, focusing on the young people, small business. And most of the free trade zones today designed for only big companies. We think there should be free trade zones for small companies to import and export, 24 hours clearance custom office. And if you are below $1 million US exporting to the other countries, should be totally tariff free. And EWTP refers 4T: training, trade, technology, and tourism. So making sure that, because the whole world is expecting a new form of globalization. I don't think, the model in the past 60 years that all the government make decisions how to do business and the business follow. Next 30 years should be the business make decisions, government supported. So this is EWTP, it's a private driven. And that's why we go one country after one country to convincing the country has the vision, the convincing the government has the wisdom and the courage to support the young people, small business. This is the whole vision.
So one person you have convinced is President Kagame. You've signed up for this. Mr. President, why did you sign up, and what are the expectations you have of this for Rwanda?
Well, to begin with,
Mr. President, wait, before you answer. I am not surprised at all. I am not surprised at all that the very first president in Africa that adopted or that agreed to or that actually gave this initiative a chance is Paul Kagame. I am not surprised at all. I'm a big fan. Like a lot of people, I'm a big fan. Like a lot of Africans, I'm a big fan. How many times did I say that? I'm a big fan of Paul Kagame. All right. In the last 2 decades of his presidency, Rwanda has been that model country. Nobody can deny that, right? It has been that model country for Africa, where actually he has opened up Rwanda for any of our leaders to copy and paste in their country. All right. So something like this is no surprise to me at all. And you will hear it from his own mouth, right? Why he adopted it and how it's benefiting Rwanda. Rwanda today, as we speak, for a country that has gone through what it has gone through, all the way to 94, this is in our lifetime. For Rwanda to be where Rwanda is today, a model, exemplary country in Africa, there's good stuff happening. That's the reason why. There's leadership that should be, modeled. There's leadership that should be, admired. That there's leadership that actually should be one that should be taught in African universities right now. Because there's a lot of good things about his presidency, his leadership to bring Rwanda where Rwanda is right now. Forget the negatives that you'll find that everywhere, but if we point out those good things that Paul Kagame has done for a country like Rwanda, especially if you look into what Rwanda has gone through, man, this guy, I'll give him, I'll give him an award every single day and 2 times on Sunday.
It was a great opportunity that came our way. Thank you, Zeni, for first of all inviting us here and moderating the session. So when I met Jack Ma, and he had already thought through this in a broader sense, and was happy to start with Rwanda because of what Jack had observed in terms of the investments we have made in the area of infrastructure and technology and the governance generally thereof that would support this kind of business and relationship and transactions. So we have already started, and what is happening on the ground is very exciting.
Yes.
Because the young people and what Jack has just said, this is a relationship that brings in the otherwise marginalized, levels of society,
Yes.
the young people, the farmers, and this has helped bring them in connection directly with the consumers.
Yes.
Can you give an example? You were telling me earlier about the example of coffee. This initiative was signed in October 2018, so really not very long ago. Give us a sense of what on the ground has happened already.
Already there is coffee being sold through this e-commerce.
Yes.
To Chinese customers.
Chinese customers. And what is happening on average, generally, the coffee farmer or business people were getting around $8 per kilogram.
Yeah.
Now they have additional 4, which is $12
Big
for
increase.
every kilogram. And
Yeah.
this happens very fast, and the transactions are very beneficial, almost real time.
So one of the ambitious goals of this is that you said it was up to $1 million in transactions would be tariff-free, and you, Mr. President, have clearly agreed to that. Do you think, why did you do that? Because you think that's an important part of a development strategy?
There's no question about it.
Yes.
If you look at the number of people who are going to benefit, the young entrepreneurs, these farmers who are involved in, for example, coffee businesses, it's all inclusive.
It is.
Small and medium enterprises are benefiting. And these are the majority when it comes to the businesses in any country. You find these ones put together hold more than any other level that you can think of.
And where, Jack Ma, what's the scale of your ambition with this? You have signed up a couple of countries so far. You're going country by country, but is your goal to create an alternative global trade system?
Well, we want to at least giving some values to the new global trade system because of the technology. I never expected that
we'll continue. But did you hear the question? Jack Ma is actually going around, trying to sign up country after country after country. I wonder if mine has signed up. I've not looked into it. I don't think so. I would have heard. But for me, for stem to roots, this is where the opportunity lies. So you look into it. If your country has signed up for EWTP, the opportunity is in. All right. Our problem, we've been having this conversation here at Stem to Roots. Our problem has been where, as somebody being outside the country, right, outside the continent, you're somewhere in the US, in Europe, in wherever, right? It's not only hard to do business at home, but it's super risky, all right, to be away from home and do business. The opportunity, as I think about it right now, if I was Rwandan, is right now as a Gambian, if EWTP from Alibaba has been adopted, where electronically from your mobile phone, you can be on a platform where you can sell and buy, mostly sell, because I'm thinking about the economic benefits for individuals, mostly sell to a wider consumer base, right? If we are able to do that in my country, here's the opportunity where being here easily, I can help somebody who otherwise I'm helping already. Because if we talk about remittance, if we talk about how much money we send back to the continent, most of that money, if you in 1 year, if you send $5,000 in a year, trust you me, over half of that, and I'm being conservative here, almost 75% of it is, in Africa, we call it goes from hand to mouth, right? It's money that you send for somebody that has, some event going on, some occasion, Christmas, Eid, just celebrations, and like where they just take that money, consume it, eat it. Not any form of investment, not any form of business that will actually bring in something. No, we send money so that it will be used right away, just for them to sit back and request money again. So if EWTP was in Gambia right now, what I can do in making sure that money actually produces something is an investment in somebody, a family member, a friend, whoever it is that I know can handle something like this, in looking for that good, in looking for that product, right, at home that I know is global, right, and sell it using that platform, because the customer base is already there. Being able to sell it, the issue is actually that platform, being able to sell from home. We'll talk more about that so that I will elaborate more on even examples, for Rwanda, what President Paul Kagame just mentioned as an example, and Jack Ma will elaborate on that, is coffee, right? Yes, you won't find coffee in every African country. Gambia doesn't produce coffee enough for me to see it as something that a potential young person or businessman will benefit from. But there's other examples that I have. But if coffee fits, if you're producing coffee enough in your country for you to actually make money from it and benefit from, coffee is a perfect example. But let's listen to Jack Ma, and then I'll elaborate on what my examples are.
Africa could be so huge. This is in 2 years, I've been to Africa for 3 times.
Okay.
And when we started to sell the coffees, 2,000 packages of coffee, we put online, and within 3 days, all sold out. And I said, wow. And we even did not have a lot of promotions. I giving some coffee to my friends. They tried it and they said, Jack, where did you get this? I said, you guess. And I said, Rwanda. I said, are you really? Then we think this year, at least for coffee-wise, we can sell 120,000 packages. And for those young people, when they have mobile phones, not only for computer games, not
Yes.
only for making phone on
Yes.
Twitters. They
Yeah.
should do business.
Not only for WhatsApp,
So
And-
that's we think we'll be covering all the countries.
Yes. Wow. Did you just hear that? Did you miss that? Because that example of coffee, right? Let's talk about that example of coffee. That example of coffee works for Rwanda. Okay. So coffee is being produced already, right? The customer base is not as wide as what this EWTP has been able to provide. Having a customer base all the way in China, where they are in, so you're talking about millions of customers, because for a country that has hit billion, we're talking about millions of customers accessing your coffee through your mobile phone. So you live in Rwanda, you have a farmer, whether your father, your parents, or your family members are coffee farmers. You, as the young person, now through your phone, through your computer, through your access to this platform, you're able to actually sell to customers all the way in China. Game changer. Game changer. Like, this will lift people from poverty, right? All right, that is Rwanda. I'm going to give an example of a place that I know. I'm from Gambia, and in the Senegambia region, which I know more than any place else, so it's easier for me to give that example. We can also find our own products that have a global reach. And for instance, I have examples. I'll give 3 examples. There's this thing we call, in Senegal, they call it bisab. In Gambia, we call it wonjo. And it's sorrel. This is sorrel. So sorrel hibiscus, they call it. I don't know why it's called hibiscus, but there's a global reach for it because of its potential benefits. Bui, baobab, the global reach, especially now that it has been labeled as a superfood, it's, man, like, everybody's looking for it. Moringa, moringa leaf, the entire world is looking for that. It's another superfood, nutritional benefits like none other. And so with that wide range of goods in just those 3 examples that I gave, these are 3 goods that don't need that level of sophisticated, packaging or the preservatives that are needed in order to keep food fresh and without any harm, and to be able to preserve it long term and be able to sell it fresh. These are products, these are goods that don't need that. These products just need, for the most part, just to be sun dried. That's it, right? Maybe you can add a little technology when you're going, like, when you're producing it in masses, but for a start. So this is an example so if you come from a place that is not producing coffee, I just give you an example, of goods that I know are produced in abundance in Gambia, in Senegal, in Mali, in just neighboring West African countries. And all of that is opportunity, right? I cannot believe that Jack Ma and Alibaba have to be touring Africa, convincing them of something like this. This is not going to cost you anything but benefit you. So for me, stem to roots, here's how that is relevant. So as somebody living outside, thinking about what kind of opportunities, thinking about, whether it's making money, whether it's getting into business, whether it's being able to be helpful at home, this level of opportunity is something that I feel like, if you're over here and you know damn well that you're sending money, we talked about remittance before, the numbers are crazy, right? How much money we send back home for our loved ones, our friends, family, neighbors to just consume. In Africa, we call it hand to mouth, right? So that money comes in, is eaten until the next time they ask you, right? So I don't see a level of investment as far as the money that we send back home. Actually, I can give this rough example. If you send $10,000 a year, most of that money, over 50%, and I'm being conservative here, is spent just consuming. Soon as it lands, the money is eaten, no sort of investment, not putting it in anything that will bring in more money. Here's an opportunity that can be used. If you're here in the diaspora thinking about how you can be helpful, thinking about even ways of making money, building a business, this model will help more than anything that I've seen so far. And it's just amazing.
We are here talking about hundreds of millions, later on running into billions
Yes.
of transactions
Yes.
involving more and more people
Yes.
every day
Yes.
in this and benefiting. Before I worry about one individual or one company or two that are doing that, I'm also looking at the benefits on the other end, where the numbers are.
For Alibaba, for wWTP, we said, this is our idea, this is our vision. Nobody believed it. And then we invite people who believe in building the app and get involved. Rwanda is going to be the most important hub, the founding hubs of the wWTP. One day, there are people who get used to that hub. They will be experts sending expert to all the African. So this is the concept. This is the dream. This is not the. I think Alibaba cannot do it alone. We have to partner.
Well, there it is. You heard it yourself. So how is this relevant to STEM to Roots, right? These are the kind of things we want to keep bringing up, right? Where us here in the diaspora, thinking about home, finding ways to have a new perspective, of how, home can benefit us because we are from there, right? How we can be out here and be actually, productive and actually be part of our society and connect, because we are far away but so close. There's never been a time in this world where you can be this far away from home and have that level of access to be impactful. There's never been a time, right? So if we're living in this era where you can be in America, you can be in Europe, you can be in Australia, and you're from the continent of Africa and have as much impact, if not more, than somebody on the ground. Never a time, right? Technology has enhanced that. The level of communication. I came here in 2004. In 2004, when I got here, I was not even able to communicate, right? I was broke and I was a student. I didn't have money. I was making, I think, a call once every 2 weeks or every month. I will buy a $5 card that wouldn't even last for 5 minutes. Sometimes they will cut off. Those cards were so annoying. Actually, I have some of them still. I had to keep them for a souvenir. Those cards were so annoying, it will cut off and you can't continue your call again. Maybe you'll get a minute from it. Now with WhatsApp, I can grab my phone. Not only can I video call and have like a conversation looking at the person's face and sitting on the phone forever, but life has been made so much easier. Not only group calls, not only collaborations, not only like having full-fledged meetings, and checking on whether it's a partner or whether it's somebody you're involved in a business with. Life has changed. We are so connected that guilt that we have of being away from the continent, we can find ways to actually, scrape away from that, scrape out of that a little bit and feel like, you know what? I can be away and be involved, make money. And I'm not talking about being a humanitarian here. I'm not going to put that on you. I'm thinking about ways of making money whilst you're away, put your family in a better position, whether they're over there at home or here. Well, these are the kind of things I want to talk about. If you've not been a part of our conversation yet, you know what to do. Please go ahead and do just that, so that as we talk about this, you will find a way to get involved and benefit from other people whilst you also contribute whichever way you can. Come back again because I will have more of this. STEM to Roots, I'm done with you. Bye-bye.